Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle. And today we are talking about how this actually just came out recently today. So, Trump he's floating the idea of eliminating the U.S. income tax and replacing it with tariffs on imports. So, in my opinion, if Trump did this specifically, he would get a huge amount of support. He would get like the biggest amount of support you can get as a US president. He could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history if he got this done. Specifically because almost every single American in the United States does not like paying taxes at all. They do not like paying taxes. You get like 30 to 40% of your taxes out of your pay. I mean, you get 30 to 40% of your paycheck taken away out of taxes. So if that got eliminated in some possible way, that would be the greatest. And if it was actually like a good way, not like in a way that like could mess with the economy or something. If it was done in the right way that Trump is kind of proposing, then he could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history if he did this, because so many Americans would want this. And I also will show you later in this video like what I think the election would look like if he actually did propose this based on his agenda or whatever. So like what I would think, what states would possibly switch to Trump just because of this idea. But first, let's go through it just to read it for you guys. So I already read the titles, so here's the key points first. Donald Trump discussed the idea of imposing an all-tariff policy that would ultimately enable the U.S. to get rid of the income tax. He also talked about using tariffs to leverage negotiating power over bad actors. According to another source, Trump championed tariffs during his first term in the White House. Donald Trump on Thursday brought up the idea of imposing an all-tariff policy that would ultimately enable the U.S. to get rid of the income tax. Trump, in the meeting with GOP lawmakers, talked about using the tariffs to leverage negotiating powers. We talked about that. The remarks show that Trump, who championed tariffs as foreign policy multi-tool during his first term in office, is considering a drastically more protectionist trade agenda if he defeats Joe Biden. Spokespeople for Trump's campaign did not immediately respond. Trump on social media posts later said that there was lots to discuss, all positive in the meeting, without providing any detail. Trump's remark quickly drew from critics. Yeah, there were definitely some critics about it because of the tariff plan. I think I might better read about the tariff plan itself, possibly. Maybe, if it shows up right here. If not, then yeah, here it is. The bottom 40% of Americans currently pay zero or negative federal income tax. Presumably, they would have to pay Trump's proposed tariffs, though. So this sounds like a huge tax increase. I don't think that's true. I think this is just based on what they think the tariff policy would look like. In my opinion, I think the tariff policy is completely different than what people are assuming. I think people are assuming it's going to be taxed on our foods and consumer goods and stuff like that, but I don't think that's actually going to end up how it actually is. I don't think that's what Trump is actually proposing. I think he's proposing something completely different that makes it easier. I mean, even if he lowered it enough that where we'd have to pay more for consumer stuff, but it's way less than taking 30 to 40% of our check, then that's still a win either way. As long as you lower or eliminate the income tax and not have to get 30 to 40% of your income taken away, even in consumer goods, then that is still a win no matter what. And if it doesn't hurt our economy, obviously. And I also wanted to show this. The view on the federal income tax. I just wanted to show you how people view the income tax. Now, I will just read the highlights. I don't think it really matters down here. So 60% say their federal income taxes are too high. So 60% of Americans think their federal income taxes are too high. 46% regard their income tax as fair. And federal income tax now regarded as the worst tax. 6 in 10 Americans say the amount of federal income tax they pay is too high. So basically, the majority of people think the income tax is just way too high for them. I think if Trump did this would be a huge win for his campaign and really would push people to vote for him no matter what, because eliminating the federal income tax would be a massive win for Trump. Even just saying he's going to do it, like that will get him more votes, especially in states that are more blue. Now, there are certain states that I think that will not go to Trump because they will be against the whole policy and everything. But I think certain ones, because they hate income tax and it'll almost completely wipe it away, that would show that Trump's plan is a great plan and basically get more people to vote for him. But I think Trump's plan is a good plan. Even if it did hurt consumer goods in a way from what they stated, I think, in my opinion, I think either way, it's going to be way better than what income tax has been doing to people in general anyway, because 30 to 40% of your check's been taken away by the average American. So if you can even get like 20 to 10% of consumer goods go up, but you have no income tax, you literally have a way better situation than having the federal income tax that you had to pay. So as long as Trump would keep it lower, I think it would be a win. Or if he just ultimately found a good deal where he could actually make it where literally Americans don't have to pay nothing more in consumer goods, and they don't have to pay anything in federal tax. Remember, Trump's a businessman, and also he was great with his tariffs. He was great with those. You got to remember that. During his campaign, he was amazing with those, and a lot of people criticized. During his presidency, a lot of people criticized it. So I think that Trump could actually do a great job with this. I trust that Trump, if he actually did do this, it would actually help Americans a lot in the long run, and we wouldn't have to pay any taxes at all, technically. And I wanted to show you right here. I wanted to show you what I think the map would look like if Trump actually put this in his, promises or whatever, like his campaign promises. Like if he put this specifically in his campaign promises and he campaigned on it like very, very actively so the American people would hear about it. I'll basically show you what I think how Trump would perform. Now, I'm not going to do lean or likely or anything like that, so I'm just going to do basic. So let me say the Joe Biden states first. I'd say California, Oregon. Sorry about that. California, Oregon, Washington. They're not going to Trump. Hawaii wouldn't either. I think that's no. This is Massachusetts. Rhode Island wouldn't. D.C. wouldn't. Maryland wouldn't. I don't think Delaware would. New Jersey, I'm going to leave that blank. Connecticut wouldn't. VT would not. Vermont. And New Hampshire would stay blank. And then, let me think. New York is an iffy one because New York actually could vote for Trump because of this issue. Now, in my opinion, I don't know if that would actually happen. For now, I'm going to say New York goes to Biden. But I do think if this did happen, I think it would be a lot closer than a lot of people think if he did introduce this plan. And Maine, I would keep blank as well. Any other? I think Illinois would go to Biden. I think I actually would leave those blanks as well. Any more that would go to Biden here? From what I can tell, I don't think so. So I'm going to go do Trump now. If I find one for Biden, I'll let you guys know. So let's start this. So Nevada, Arizona. Okay, these are going to Trump, by the way. Nevada, Arizona, Alaska, Idaho, Utah, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. Colorado and New Mexico would vote for Trump if this happened. I guarantee you. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all of Nebraska, even the second. Let me fix that. Even the second. South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota would, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Virginia would, and Virginia's a tie as of right now based on a lot of polling. So he would be heavily favored in Virginia because of this. Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Maine. I would actually. I don't know about Maine's first. I'm not sure. That's a hard one because it is a very left-leaning portion. For now, I would say no. That's a hard one because it is Maine. Maine's first. Maine's first is very liberal. But I would say Maine's first goes to Biden, but it could go to Trump as well. But let me do this as well. So New Hampshire and New Jersey would go to Trump. So based on if Trump actually made this a actual part of his campaign promises and he actually really pushed it, I think Trump could win the election 371 to 167. That would be the biggest dominant Republican victory in so long. Now, certain states, maybe New Jersey wouldn't vote for Trump, but I'm just going to put it there because I think it would be a little bit more favored. But almost every single other one of these, I think, would actually go to Trump. Colorado could be an iffy one as well, but I think Colorado would be closer than New York would. So I would just say give it to Trump. So basically, Trump 371 to 167. That would be the most dominant victory ever if that happened. If Trump specifically did this eliminating income tax, the federal income tax, and honestly, if he also eliminated the IRS on top of that, this map would possibly be very, very accurate. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, he could even get maybe New York out of there as well if it got close enough. But yeah, this is what I think would happen if Trump actually made this one of his campaign promises. Now, I think he would have a little bit of pushback from the right. Well, maybe not, because they don't like income tax. So I'd say that some of the left would be opposed to it, but I think that a lot of people would agree with this, as long as the plan doesn't hurt the American people that bad. As long as it doesn't make it where it's basically in consumables the same exact amount like how the income tax is. As long as consumables are down to a certain amount, I think Trump could still do this plan and have a good job with this plan regardless. And the way he is on tariffs, I think he'd do a great job with it. Now, a lot of people would probably joke around with this map, but think about it. If Trump did do this, if he made this a part of his agenda, he could win a lot of states. So I'm not kidding. He could win a lot of states that are not even considered battleground states. So, I mean, you never know. Trump could float this. I mean, he's already floating it. So if he makes it an actual campaign promise, I mean, you could see a dominant victory in this election. You could possibly even see New York turning red and make it 399 or maybe 400 if Maine. I mean, if they got New York, he's getting Maine's first. But I'm just going to make it a little bit more realistic and say 371. But yeah, and I also want to show this just to show you guys in general. So Trump is still leading in the polls by 0.8. I think he's going to get a bigger bump. I actually saw on Twitter how he met with Logan Paul and stuff and did like a cool podcast. The podcast was actually pretty interesting. I actually enjoyed it. I was watching it, and I actually really enjoyed the podcast. He's probably going to get a decent bump because of that, because I saw some recent polling after the podcast came out, and it looked pretty good for Trump. So I think that, I mean, even look at this one. This one says +2. So, I mean, I think Trump's going to get a decent bump because of that, because of popularity. So I think this 0.8 might go to a 1 point something. But if Trump did do this income tax thing, I think Trump's popularity and his election chances against Biden with the popular vote would be skyrocketed, because a lot of people would love that campaign promise, because no one likes the federal income tax at all. They hate it, and I do too. I'm not gonna lie, I hate the federal income tax because of how much you get taken out of your check. But yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Didn't want to make the video too long, but tomorrow, actually, you will be seeing my prediction video for the presidential race, the monthly one I always do, and then the Senate race for the next day. Just wanted to let you guys know that, to remind you guys. I just wanted to make this video because this just came out, and I was like, this is going to be really interesting to talk about, so I want to talk about it. But anyway, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of this plan? Do you think this plan that Trump's proposing is a good idea or a bad idea? I think it's a good idea because Trump is really good with tariffs. When he was president, he did a great job with tariffs. So if he could do this and eliminate the IRS, I think he would be one of the greatest presidents of all time if he was able to get it correctly done. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.